the urgency of climate action regarding the SDGs. Before we get into the presentation, I'd like to introduce the definition of the SDGs and the significance of it. SDG is an acronym for Sustainable Development Goals, and it was chosen as an international pledge by the United Nations in 2015. The SDGs are classified into 17 themes, and those themes are systematically connected into a singular goal, which is, as mentioned, Sustainable Development Goals. It was chosen as a pledge to promise peace and prosper for all human beings by the year 2030, which we barely have 7 years left at this point. I chose to be a part of the 13th goal, which is about climate action. In my opinion, it is one of the most of importance and urgency of all 17. Therefore, I decided to read a book to help my understanding of the topic. The book I read is called No One is Too Small to Make a Difference by Greta Thunberg, published in 2019. Thunberg is an international figure at this point and needs little explanation. She has a reputation that precedes her at this point and needs little explanation. She was even on the cover of Time magazine as Person of the Year in December 2019, breaking many records. She is also, however, a figure of many controversies due to the public doubt on her legitimacy and contradictory actions to her speeches and efforts. The title of the speech I decided to focus on is Our House is on Fire, spoken on January 25th, 2019. The title of the speech is quite intuitive. The house Thunberg is implying is a home for all Homo sapiens, also known as Earth. She emphasizes that whether government officials and companies act or whether they not will determine the destiny of human beings. She also emphasizes that we should focus on reducing carbon emissions and shift our interests from profits to prevent the earth. She ends the speech with an analogy. Act as if our house is on fire because it is. This was spoken in front of the World Economic Forum, which is significant because it means that government officials decided to give the 16-year-old a chance to speak out her worries and concerns about the issues. The speech was indeed powerful, and her speeches are known to be. However, this led me to think about it a bit differently. Why did it take decades for human beings to finally realize the urgency of the issue? Why did it only take a 16-year-old Swedish girl to grab the world's attention, and yet no one before has had such impact? There's something wrong about all this. Everything Thunberg says in her speeches are way too obvious to even be addressed at such huge events. For anyone besides global warming conspiracy theorists,
trying to get with ourselves, we should be kind to ourselves and choose with what we want to do. It's not about fixing the problem, it's about doing better and doing the really matters to us. We realize that it's normal to feel all kinds of emotions in life, even the bad ones, but instead of just trying to feel happy all the time, we should listen to our feelings because they can help us get through tough times. We also try some technique from the book. The most helpful one.
Yet, when it is too much, it can be dangerous and extremely flawed. Equality means everyone's the same, and it recently was popular in the equality topic is in gender, race, and others. For me, everyone in a certain area of jobs putting in the same effort gets the same pay. In society, playing the same part of the citizen gets the same recognition, and that it is a perfect equality. But based on the book, equality means the freedom and diversity of people is not valued. No one can be special or exceptional. No one can reach their full potential. Everyone's the same. No one is beautiful or handsome. No one is strong or great. And also, Plus, they are being controlled by the government. That's what we can see most in the character of George, Harrison, and the ballerinas. The action by the HG man is repressive and discriminatory, and persons like Harrison, who decides not to be a walking cloud puppet, rise against the government for freedom and dies for it. So that is my opinion on the first story. I will move on to the next. So the next story is the ones who walk away from Homelas. In my opinion, based on the story, Homelas is a perfect city. This city is what everyone's dreams to live in. The city lives in prosperity, everyone is joyous and happy. But throughout the story, it is seen that Homelas is an imaginary utopian society. But at the same time, express its ironicity to the freedom world. People of Homelas are joyous, but their smiles are archaic. What the writer writes, I think it portrays that there is suffering underneath the smiles. Going down, the character of the wretched child, locked in the basement, left to suffer. He cries and screams. The peoples of Homelas know he's there, but they can't do anything. The story states that the prosperity of the city relies on the child. If the child is released, all the goods of the city will be gone. They can and must not do anything to the child to keep their prosperity and wonderful city. So this idea states that many in the real world, its freedom and prosperity are obtained through suffering and destruction, while the people of Homelas thrives in happiness. The wretched child suffers. Something it is necessary to continue to stay, something that is inhuman, silently left. It lives with an what-if situation. That is, what if you are in the same position? Will you help the child and sacrifice your country's prosperity and happiness, or pretend not to know and continue to live there? Or you could stand the evil curse and leave the beautiful Homelas. And that is my opinion on the second story. That will be my presentation for the day. Thank you.
I have a keen interest in the 14th goal of the Sustainable Development Goals globally as life below water. Today I have prepared this presentation to delve into the topic. First, let's briefly examine the key components of this goal. I won't go into detail as I believe most of you have a basic understanding of this topic. Just look at the keywords. Our team is currently reading a book to gain a deeper understanding of the pollution affecting marine and coastal ecosystems. The book is written in Korean and its original title is Das Blue Window. Actually, I'm not good at German, but doesn't that title look somewhat familiar? Yes, it was the title of this presentation. This expression, the blue wonder, is often used in the German-speaking world. It is generally used to describe something as a remarkable surprise or wonder, especially to express admiration for a particular nature phenomenon or experience. This German book is authored by Flauke Nobushi, a marine biologist who has dedicated her life to the study of the ocean. She obtained her doctoral degree from the University of Southampton in the UK and later served as the head of a local marine biology research station in the Maldives. She gained global attention by sailing 9,500 kilometers from the Caribbean through the Atlantic to the Mediterranean to raise awareness about the seriousness of ocean plastic pollution. Her journey is also contained in this book. The front part of this book contains around 30 photographs, most of which were taken during her journey. I'd like to show you a few of them, but to keep this presentation from getting too long, I share just a few. This photo is her from Georgia. It's her journey. And next photo is of a school of parrotfish displaying beautiful colors. And next we have photos of clownfish and Toulouse sailors. Their names are quite unique. I've come to realize the incredible diversity of marine life through these photos. Here is the photo of sandbar sharks. Next photo shows devil rays with their mouths wide open. And next we have a photo capturing the grandeur of a massive coral reef. I really wish I could witness such a scene in person someday. And however, there were also some unsettling photos among them. These are photos. These are photos of plastic waste caught in nets with plankton and plastic pollution around the Mekong River. It's truly disturbing. These images provide a glimpse of the current state of marine environment. And while reading this book, I felt as though the fish living within me wanted to venture out into the external ocean. The fish seemed to be singing, and the dolphins and corals were dancing, while the whales were playing their tunes in the sea. The descriptions in this book immersed me deeply in the world of the ocean it portrays. The ocean appears wild, painstakingly beautiful and boundless, as if it could never be tamed. However, this initial impression is deceiving, because the ocean is currently facing its greatest crisis. From tropical coral reefs to the Antarctic and Arctic seas, from the surface waters to the deep sea trenches, and from plankton to whales, all marine ecosystems that have intricately harmonized for thousands of years are now under threat for the past few decades. The author describes herself as philosophy, someone who loves the sea. This term refers to people who prefer coastal oceanic environments but don't confine themselves solely to them. We all should aim to become philosophians, and the well-being of the blue wonder lies in our hands. On one hand, we can individually contribute to the health of the ocean through our daily consumption choices. On the other hand, we need proactive global research, rules, and regulations to protect the ocean. But let's start with what we can do. First and foremost, let's reduce our use of plastic. What can each of us, as individual consumers, do in the face of pervasive plastic flows in everybody, every day? However, to address this issue, it requires efforts not only at our individual level, but also on a global scale. As a tip, ingredients that start with poly, nylon, or acrylate often hide microplastics. Avoiding products with these ingredients can help reduce plastic consumption. Living without plastic is admittedly challenging, and even the author of this book found it difficult. However, if we become aware of how the disposable items we purchase are handled, where they end up, and their impact on humans and animals, even small consumption habits can begin to change. Now, let's begin together. Thank you for listening.